Takes right off. What's up, everybody? A little bit of a different view today. We're flying planes and quads. I just got done building or rebuilding my ready-made RC Recruit. This is one of the best plug-and-play planes you can get for 90 bucks. Comes with everything you need. Of course, you need remote and goggles and all that stuff if you want to FPV. But I have a flight controller and all that stuff in mind. I'm running what's called Inav. Inav is one of the big major open source firmwares that's out there for planes, multi-rotors, all that kind of stuff. So with Inav, I have things like auto launch, altitude hold, position hold, cruise mode, where it'll just go where I tell it and I can take my hands off the sticks, do all that kind of stuff. Now I go back and forth on flying planes. I always fly quads, even though I might take breaks here and there and all that kind of stuff. This is my local field, Eagle Squadron RC. Not a better place to come if you do not want to be bothered. I was not going to be doing any car testing here today, but I have got some cool stuff. I've got my tire warmers and all that stuff in, so I'm really super excited to check that out, hopefully within the next couple days. I haven't flown a plane in a few years, and there's been a lot of developments coming out. We all know, most of us know, that Inav 3.0 is coming out very shortly. Within the next month or two, we might get beta versions. They're doing a total redesign of everything, especially when it comes to like fixed wings and the configurator. Fixed wing tuning is going to be getting just a complete overhaul, so you don't have to go through all of these different flights after flight after flight. The auto tune is supposed to tune your rates to your plane perfectly. They're going to D-term filtering, getting rid of feed forward or maybe adding feed forward to that. A lot of great stuff. Unfortunately, there won't be any extra stuff for DJI, which is kind of annoying, but there's nothing that they can do about it. That they've done like a little hack to kind of give you as much information as possible. Now you'll see here in the video that I have DJI and my 5.8 gear in here at the same time. Obviously, I'm not running both of them together, but I've been using the 5.8 gear to tune everything in. You get to see all the good stuff on the OSD. And then of course the DJI is just awesome to fly with. It's just super great. Now I do have some extra 1.3 stuff coming. My other stuff, as I said, was pretty sketchy. So we'll see how that goes and compare that to DJI. But ultimately I would like to get this running just full DJI just because it's such a better flight experience. It's just amazing, and flying at altitude, the goggles and everything, you know, you can go as far as you need to go. What we've been doing with this puppy today is tuning it and just making sure everything's good. Spoiler alert, I actually did fly it last night and everything was really good. I switched out some of the video gear. I did have 1.3 video gear in there, and I switched that out to my 5.8 stuff. I've got some older 1.3 stuff that the connectors on it were a little sketchy and really didn't like the way it was behaving. 1.3 video allows you to go a lot further, and well, we can't talk about that kind of stuff. Got the laptop out here because we're doing some tuning to get Inav running really good and get your plane flying as good as it can get. You have to go through some processing as far as like trimming your servos, making sure those are all good and level, making sure that this thing flies in all of its different modes, doing an auto tune on it, working on tuning the actual PIFF controller in here, so that way it will just fly as good as it can get, and everything loaded. This is like the third Recruit like this that I've built, so you might see some things that might look a little weird. I've got this motor now always breaks back here, and this stuff back here kind of always gets gnarly. So I've got some laminate going on with that. I've got the crossfire receiver and a little extra weight right there. There's my camera. Using just weight in the front for ballast and CG instead of a GoPro right now. There's the VTX right here, the antenna, and I've scooped out some stuff with my wire heater. So we'll talk about my experience with Inav 2.6.1. Everything's been great, mostly probably because I've built the Recruit a few times, and I showed you there earlier. I know how to kind of like shore it up and make it a little bit more solid, but everything works just right out of the box running 4S lithium ion. Few changes, auto launch works perfect every time, haven't had a failed launch yet. All my cruise modes, the GPSs now are so much better, and the code is way better than it used to be. So things like return to home and everything are just perfect almost out of the box, even without running any kind of tuning. As long as your plane will get in the air and fly halfway decent in acro or stability mode, then all that stuff should work. Now, of course, you want to take your laptop to the field like I did. You want to do multiple flights, do and follow the processes as far as getting all your trims and everything set, doing the auto tune. I think the auto tune kind of helps. It definitely kind of firms things up a little bit, but you know, there's so much bounce back and all that kind of stuff. And you know, tuning an FPV wing is so much different than a quad because you're fighting the elements so much harder compared to a quad, because with, you know, the lower weight and the 4 motors, you can just power through everything and just kind of get things going, where with the wing you're just getting bounced around and this and that. And some people just can't stand the video, some people can't even stand flying and make them sick. But to me, I just love the technology that's in these things, the autonomous features, iNav, ArduPilot, you know, all that kind of stuff. It would be cool just to ultimately just set one up and just let it go and have it come back in an hour and land it and just, you know, lose video connection and just kind of go out on a risk and just see what happens. I think right now there's around 170 pull requests for Inav 3.0, so there is a ton going into this and the configurator and everything else. And a lot of people have been getting into planes, because I think a lot of people just get burnt out on quads and go back and forth kind of like I do. You haven't seen an FPV video on here for a while. Of course, I still fly, but I just don't put as much of it here on YouTube, because there's plenty of people that are out there telling you what to do when it comes to that stuff. And let's face it, post and flight videos is probably not the safest thing to do right now, because of all the regulation and them coming after people that I hear. Takes right off. And now I'm going to take control. So that right there is just an example of the auto launch. Got that tuned pretty good. We'll go ahead and cut into some of the footage here just to kind of show you what we're looking at. The 1.3 video here, again, looked pretty bad just because of the age of my transmitter. We'll see how the new one does. When we switch over here to the 5.8 video, you can definitely see an improvement in how things look and act. I had a great time just having the goggles on and not having really to worry about anything. Flew out to a distance and back. There was some light wind pretty much all weekend when I was doing all my flight tests and everything. Had a great time. Then of course here we have the DJI FPV system hooked up. We're not getting as many of those cool OSD elements, so it doesn't really feel like you're in the fighter cockpit type of feel with all the information coming at you. But we do have all of this awesome HD video, and it's really hard to let go of that. It's a big decision, because as much as I love all this technology, I just love the good looking video even more. So that's just a quick update here, guys, of what I've been doing when it comes to flying. I'll probably have some more videos on this wing coming up once I get it all figured out as far as what's going to live inside of it, get it all prettied up with the laminate and get that Gorilla Tape off of there and all that kind of stuff. And of course, we'll be back with some more RC videos soon. So thanks a lot, guys, and peace.